Let us get this party started. We are speaking with the one and only Dee Snider. New album, Leave a Scar, out on July 30th, and I got to tell you, it is a kick-ass album. I wasn't expecting it to be metal, but it was metal. Talk to me about that, and not doing sort of a, what do you want to say, a retro 80s throwback. I mean, you're gonna leave a scar with this one.
Yeah. It really reflects the mood and the time, the motivation for coming back. I think you may have heard or not heard at this point that I had decided in 2019 that I was done, and did not announce it publicly, but to family and friends I did. I let everybody know. I let the band know, management know, even mailed my stage boots for the last 20 years to a Canadian fan named Keith, my number one fan, and signed him and said, Keith, put him in your man cave. I'm done. Of course, now I've since then on social media said, Keith, can I get my shoes back? And Keith has reached out, but no, Keith, keep the shoes. I'm getting new ones. It's time for 20-year-old shoes. They'll probably disintegrate on me on stage, just come apart. Meanwhile, I'm wearing 40-year-old Cons. I have this pair of red, white, and blue Converse that I pull out every 4th of July week. I realized I got them in like 86. So I'm like,
my buddy Adam has an old pair of Chucks from the 80s too. He refuses to let them go.
You can't. You got to hold on.
Shape. Hardly wear them at all. So anyway, but and where do you get red, white, and blue ones? So anyway, so coming back to this, Mitch, it was really inspired by the world, by COVID, by the political state of things, and not just the United States, everywhere. There's something going on in countries all over the world that resembles what's happening in the United States a lot. And for the first time since the 90s, as I said, I called up Jamey and said, I want to do another record, but I want to be part of the writing. I got something to say. I haven't written a lyric since Widowmaker. I got something to say. And what I have to say, when I step back from the record, I go, damn, this is like high speed. It is an assault. This record is an assault.
Is that because of the musicians you're working with? Is it with Jamey producing it? Where did the heaviness come from? Because it's balls to the wall. Like, this is metal.
Well, certainly, with going with Jamey on For the Love of Metal, him challenging me to do a metal record, me saying, look, I love contemporary metal. I just don't know.
Speaking of, by the way, I just want to hold that up and show that up, because this is one of the best surprises of last year. It's absolutely phenomenal.
A live record, thank you.
Yeah.
And and I wanted, I've always kept up with what's going on in metal, and a fan of contemporary metal, but I didn't think I had a place. And Jamey said, no, you do, and I can help you find it. So For the Love of Metal, we found that place. And now that I'm there, Jamey is shocked by how hard I am. He calls me the OG, the OG metalhead, because I'm in there going, I'm the one who said bring in Corpse Grinder Fisher. I'm the one who said I need more gangs. I need bigger gangs, harder gangs, more hardcore gangs. And he's going, holy D, because now that you got me through the door, I'm like, I love it here. I'm a metalhead, and now I know I have a place, so get out of my fucking way.
But let's go back. We've done history interviews over our history, and you have said repeatedly since the Twisted Sister Christmas album, I don't need new music. You know what happens when you play new music? People go to the bathroom. So how do you make sure on a new album that people don't go to the bathroom, and why go through the whole rigmarole of writing and recording? Why not just go out and play I Want to Rock 100 times?
Well, first of all, if you saw the live record, you saw me threaten the audience if they go to the bathroom during my new songs.
Yes, I saw that.
I have a stage rap in Bloodstock about it being daylight, and I could see you leaving. So, but really, it was the reaction to For the Love of Metal. I didn't know what it was going to be. I think Jamey did. Well, I would say this to Jamey, because Jamey knew what it should be. But I'm sure part of him, it is a doubt in any creative's mind going, he should be welcomed here at this table. He's one of those voices, but, and when people reacted the way they did. And as I went out live, they were singing the new songs, requesting the new songs. I had not had that experience at all in anything I've done since Twisted Sister. So I saw this real positive reception for new music from me and decided, to keep it going. I mean, it's not that I don't want to do new music. It's just I have felt it falls on deaf ears, and we've talked about that. The new song being The Bathroom Break. And even though I threaten the audience if they leave, I'm watching with other things from We Are the Ones and stuff like that. It still was just sort of like they put up with it, basically. Here's the obligatory song or two from the new record, and then you're done. With this new stuff, I'm 2/3 of the set is all my material. And there's like 5 songs from Twisted now that I'm doing. The rest of the stuff is Dee Snider. So if you're going to listen to Dee Snider, you're coming to a Dee Snider show, get ready.
Yeah. How rewarding is that for you to be able to say that and be able to go out there and perform your songs? Because yes, the Twisted stuff is your songs too, but you don't have to be a nostalgic. You don't have to be that guy that does those songs. You can go be Dee and people care. That's great position to be in.
It's incredibly rewarding, so much so that's one of the reasons I wanted to walk away in 2019. I said, all right, I had a top 20 record on the Billboard charts. People like my songs. I'm going to do a live album. Let's walk away now.
Drop on top.
Drop the mic. See, I showed you Dee Snider's value in 2020 or 2019, whatever it was. And I just wanted to walk away. Why take a chance of fucking with that? I don't know if we can curse in your show or not.
Of course.
Fine.
Okay. But I decided I really just, I just couldn't keep my mouth shut. I couldn't keep my mouth shut. And there was another thing, you look at, I've been analyzing this, really, because I'm trying to understand it myself. All right, what the hell happened? I know all my management and my family, they said, we never believed you when you said you were done anyway. But I meant it in my mind. But what was it? And I realized it was like certain little pieces, and like sort of like you were picking a lock, and each tumbler you picked, it just got closer and closer to opening that door. And one was the state of the world. Another one was a comment. I was very vocal on social media during these COVID times and during these political times. Yeah. I'm very loud and in your face. I figure I've got to balance out things since they're all loud in everybody's face. So I got to be loud and in people's faces. And I said to people, it's time for you people to freaking, and I wrote the song Stand about this, stand up and fight back. And someone was a very thoughtful tweet. They said, Dee, not all of us have the platform or the voice to do this. It's great. We want to, but we don't feel like comfortable doing it. What do we do? And I said, well, get behind someone who's screaming for you. And I realized at that moment, I said, I'm that guy.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, you are.
For the voiceless.
I am the voice of the voiceless. I am the guy. And even though my life it's pretty magical, dude, I got to tell you. I fought hard to get here, and I have no plans on leaving. But I'm blessed. But that doesn't mean just because I'm okay, doesn't mean everybody else is. And if I was given this voice and given this platform, then now I got to do it for the others. Yes. So that was another clicking of the tumbler of the lock of me returning to doing a new record.
I want to step away from the music for a second because you were one of the biggest influences on me when I was getting a career going in broadcasting. You had an affiliate down in Daytona Beach on one of the rock stations over there. And I was like, holy shit, Dee Snider has a radio show? And this was right at the beginning of my broadcasting career. I was just always curious, like, how did you get into doing radio?
I've been doing radio a long time now, and I think it really started oddly with I had this, okay, go back to high school. I had an annoying girlfriend, not Suzette, and my annoying parents. And I knew from the age of 8 that I was going to be a rock star, to the point I was mocked for being that brazen, for make that statement, like, working on the loading dock of a department store and guys talking about retirement benefits. And I'd be like, I'm talking about 19-year-olds, like, retirement benefits? You guys are staying here? Well, yeah, they got a great plan. And if my wife got, and I go, man, I'm just getting out of here. They go, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to be a rock star. Well, that was my nickname. and the rock star got every dirty job. They'd announce it, rock star, someone vomited on aisle 2. Please go clean it up, rock star. I mean, I was mocked mercilessly for wanting to be a rock star. But my family convinced me I needed a backup plan, and I went to college. And I'm saying went to, in quotations, had an absentee failure at the end of the year for all courses.
Drove by every day.
Yeah, but I went and majored in communications. I said, if I can't perform, record, I will play the records as a DJ. I always liked had a lot of air personalities, very effervescent ones, actually, out of New York, really upbeat guys. And so I did worked on a radio station. And so I thought that would be something I would do later. As it turned out, it was. But but when I decided to finally, after Twisted Sister, to get into radio, I started at the bottom and worked my way up, and been doing it now for a lot of years.
Let me just quickly follow up on that. Hold on, let me follow up on that for a second. When Twisted was breaking and you had this communications background and you had, publicists and stuff, did you direct how your image was going to get out there? Did you direct and say, okay, we need to book it this way, we need to get this message out? Did you put some of what you learned to practice?
No, zero. Zero. Other than I was like, whenever I went to a radio station, they were like, "Dude, you're amazing on the air. Do you want to like host again?" So I would do a lot of that stuff because I could, and then I went over to MTV Heavy Metal Mania and hosted that show, and a lot of all that stuff came from my, I'm in love and attraction and comfort with being the guy on the microphone talking, so I didn't. I mean, it's so funny. I won't name her name because she's a lovely woman, but when Twisted Sister arrived at Atlantic Records and started to happen, this woman wound up getting like raises, the publicist, and for amazing job she did with Twisted Sister. All she did was answer the phone and say yes. All she did was answer her phone and say yes. And when she got stolen by another company and went over there, they realized she really wasn't anything special, and they let her go, and she went back to Atlantic Records. But it's easy when someone's breaking. It's easy to look good as a manager, as a publicist, as any of those people, because the band's breaking big, and all you got to do is pick up phones and go yes, 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 yes. So there was no. None of my knowledge.
The job of a gatekeeper
from the New York Institute of Technology actually was put to use with Twisted Sister.
When you're doing the House of Hair, like the radio show and stuff, do you have to deal with all the affiliates and program directors saying like, this segment's not PPM friendly? Like, are you sitting with program directors and your team and like coming up with the sound of the show? Like how involved are you in modern radio in today?
Not at all, thank God, because Pam Edwards, who is the creator of the show and the producer of the show, and we've been working together now for 25 years. But she'll tell me she deals with it, and I would always push for deeper cuts, and on these multi-platinum albums. Yeah. And she would say the pushback that she gets from the program directors, they just want the damn hits.
Yeah.
I go, you got an album that sold diamond. Every track on that record, the first Guns N' Roses album, is airworthy. Everybody knows every song on that record. Mm-hmm. And yet they'll still, we need a little more Paradise City. Like, oh, come on, man. And I like, and I've pitched it as, I said, think about those songs when you go with the deep cut. I said, first of all, the songs are good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's a good song, and you're not playing a crappy deep cut. You're playing a song that people don't know. That's a really good song. I said, second, that deep cut, I call it the diamond in the pocket with the fan. It's like that song the true fan knows about and loves. And when you play the deep cut, it resonates with them, and like they are a fan for life of the show because you acknowledged this deeper track from a band they like. Meanwhile, you didn't play a bad song, and the people listening to it, oh, wow, that sounds really a cool song, So I really sold that hard, and occasionally we have the songs from the vault. They'll give us a treat.
God forbid we discover new music or God forbid. Yeah. Let me just quickly ask you about Jamey Jasta. You're Dee Snider. You've been in the business forever. You could produce your own record. You could probably make a call to a Bob Ezrin or to a Bob Rock or to a whatever, and say, hey, how did you hook up with Jamey, and what does he bring to the project, to your sound, to the album?
Jamey Jasta, known for the band Hatebreed, known for non-melody vocals, is such an incredible talent. And people know him as an air personality. He's got his podcast. He was one of the VJs for Headbangers Ball for a while. So he's got that element of him. But he's very savvy businessman. He's also very, he's got a passion for metal of all kinds. And he's a great songwriter. On that first, For the Love of Metal, he and Charlie Belmore did the predominant amount of writing on the record. And people like Mark Morton from Lamb of God and Howard Jones from Killswitch Engage, Light the Torch now, and Ollie from All That Remains. A lot of people came and contributed riffs and stuff like that. But Jamey curated everything, put it all together, produced it with Nicky Belmore, my drummer, who's an amazing engineer, mixer, and he co-produced this record, as a matter of fact. And so they brought the songs to me, and the guys, his work ethic is incredible. Like, so I didn't touch even lyrics. I said, look, I love new stuff. Every time I write something, it comes out old. And so I said, so I did a trust fall with Jamey, and Jamey valued that greatly. I said, look, man, I'm putting myself in your hands, it's on your head. So he said he read every lyric I ever wrote before trying to write words for Dee Snider. Even though he and I come from the same school of, fighting back, stepping up, that anthemic kind of thing lyrically, he still studied me. And when he brought me words, every word I was saying felt like it could come from my mouth. And people said, yeah, but they weren't your words. I said, did Sinatra write My Way?
No.
Did Elvis write Hound Dog? No.
You were going to say Celine Dion. No, you wrote the words for Celine. Let's not forget.
And Celine, but I was thinking about the one with
My Heart Will Go On.
Go on. No, but it spoke to her, and when she sings it, when they sing it, Elvis, Frank, it's theirs, and you believe them. You know what I mean?
Agree.
And that's the key is, when you read the lyrics, say, can I say these and not feel like I'm a fraud? And I know this is, Become the Storm. Totally. I get that. I totally get that. Is Dee Snider. So Jamey Jasta is just incredibly talented, and coming into this and a Bob Rock or a Bob Ezrin, I wouldn't even think of going to them because it feels like going Back to the Future. I call it Back to the Future. Right. They were big and what they did in the day, but can they do contemporary music? And I wanted a damn contemporary record. And plus my daughter's Shy, who's the most brutal. She's so metal. My God. Love that girl. Oh God, Jamey was scared of her. She's just great. So hard. And she called me when she was listening to the Jasta podcast. Dad, you got to do it. I said, I already said yes, but she was like, Dad, Jamey, go with Jamey Jasta, go with Jasta. And, but Jamey would run past every song past Shy and say, what did Shy think? What did Shy think? Right. And I remember when we did For the Love of Metal, Shy said something to me. It was very cryptic at the time because I was just learning and understanding. She says, tell Jamey he needs a dirty breakdown and I want to hear the ting. And I was like, what? I said, so I went back to the studio and Jamey, I said, he said, what did she think of For Love of Metal? He said, it needs a dirty breakdown. She wants to hear the ting. Guys, we need a dirty breakdown. Nicky, we need to hear the tape. I said, what the hell is going on? And he explained to me that's when they go into that cut time. Yeah,
that's like halftime kind of thing.
But it always starts with, if you listen carefully, a ting on the ride cymbal.
Yeah, you got to have it'll ting,
ting, and they go now I know. Yeah. Now I know. And that's when I actually on stage in the live album, I turned to my daughter who's at Bloodstock. I go, this is for you, Shy, the Shy dirty breakdown. Jamey, it's gotta have a dirty breakdown. Shy
and the ting.
And that's amazing.
So are you and Jamey now sort of a team moving forward, or do you see yourself making other albums with other people, or is this sort of like a John Bon Jovi, John Shanks thing where you're just like, yep, this is the team. This works. We keep going.
I never had a team before. I mean, I don't mean within the band I've had a team, but it's sort of a production element of things. And I moved from producer to producer and was never happy or satisfied. But now now you come to Leave a Scar, and I called Jamey up. I said, I want to do a record. Well, now the whole process is refined. I have a band, and they played on the record, and that was that was essential to me, that my guys play on the record. B, I knew I wanted Jamey to produce again. He got me. He understood. I knew Nicky was. It's just an insane. The sound of this record is great. He should be doing much bigger records.
It sounds amazing, and
Yeah.
and it's so good when you go into a producer and they get you, and you don't have to spend all those days explaining, going, I need you. This is what it's like.
Right. Now we understood each other. And when I said, and I'm ready to participate. And where before we brought in a lot of outside writers, I'm so thankful for those people who contributed. We're like, we got this. It's Charlie Bellamore, I call him the riff monster. It's Jamey, it's me. And we handle the writing now. And it came out, it's harder, but it's real. People are saying it sounds more focused. Whatever it is, it definitely feels that way. Like, we get it now. Okay, this is what we're doing. Move forward. So I see no reason to break up the band, so to speak.
Yeah.
Moving forward, because it just works.
By the way, I don't get it's more focused, because I would suggest that your other stuff was unfocused, and I don't think any of your music was unfocused. So.
No. I meant the process.
Gotcha. Okay.
The process on this record, and just like more of a band vibe, and you know what's funny, because I fought for that as well, because there's a lot of people. I don't know. The producing's got so refined that everything is meticulous now, and technology.
Did Jamey go in there like on the grid and edit guitar parts, make sure everything's perfectly in time?
Yes, and there's the click, and there's and auto tuning and everything, and that I don't know when that became part of rock and roll, but it's kind of like the standard. There's pristine production values, and and you get the drums, even like these these death metal bands and these hard metal. I mean, those drums, they're too
triggered, too much trigger.
And I'm not saying they're not playing whatever, but now that could be all fixed and polished and everything. And there's people sort of lean to that. And when we went to the studio, Jamey wanted to basically just have a guitar player do a track, and then that guitar player do a track, so everything is exactly mirrored. And I always said, no, man, I want both guitar players. I want to play on this. I want that slight difference. And Jamey said to me, "You're right. It's more priesty. It's more AC/DC. It's got more life to it that both guitar players played on the track. And the slight difference is what just makes it a little bit fatter."
Yeah, no, totally. And that's the thing. You listen to a lot of modern records, and everybody's drum samples sound the same. Everybody's guitar. So, on this, you can actually hear, you can hear his EVH amps, and they sound like EVH amps, and you can hear the drums. Right. It's polished, but it sounds organic at the same time, if that makes sense.
No, and that's exactly, and it's, we're riding a fence here in general on this record. I always say riding the fence is the most difficult place. It's easy to go off to one side or the other, get too polished or too sloppy, and find that what you just described there. It's very difficult to ride that line, so to speak. But I really think we do with this album.
There you go.
Totally. Well, listen, Leave a Scar, available July 30th, available wherever music is sold. Before we wrap, because we're running out of time, I have one question I always wanted to ask you.
We're running out of time. How did we run out of time? We started late.
Well, Danny said that we have to be done by 2:15.
Oh yeah, I got it right. They changed my art shock. Okay, yes. All right, yeah.
So ask that last question.
Hey man, it's a cover story. What's the last question?
One last question. I grew up a huge SpongeBob fan, and in the original SpongeBob movie, they used "I Want to Rock," but they made it "I'm a Goofy Goober Rock." And I was wondering, how come it wasn't you that sang the song in the movie?
Okay, so this is the last question. It's a good one. I get the call. SpongeBob SquarePants movie wants to use "I Want to Rock." I'm like, oh, amazing. One caveat is what? Management says they want to change the words to "Goofy Goober Rock," and I was livid. Are you fucking kidding me? That's my fucking art. That's my song. What? How much? Do they want me to sing it? I mean, it was so much freaking money. I had 2 kids in college. I was like, oh, damn, I'll sing Goofy Goober Rock for that number. I'm a whore, but I'm an expensive whore. And so that we did this song. They didn't ask me to sing it. And, I'm a Goofy Goober Rock.
That was the best. So did you rewrite the lyrics and just?
Oh, they did. Are you kidding? And
There you
so
go.
they told me that's what they wanted to do. But you know,
Very-
for 300K, you know, I'll do anything. Just about.
Yeah,
Me too.
You would have sang it if
Oh yeah, hell yeah, with pride.
Yeah.
Yes, so I slipped in something about my kids need to go to college. I got to put food on the table.
right.
There you
Anyway,
go. And then
with
we got to
that-
put Leave a Scar on the table. And I got Danny telling me we got to go. So we got to go.
All right,
Okay.
well, we'll wrap up next time. You know, listen,
We'll do a part 2.
Hey, let's do a part 2. We got more tracks coming out, Mitch. Love to
Yep.
talk to you again. Give you more time here. Sorry
Yep.
it was rushed. Appreciate your support, ongoing support for years.
Absolutely.
I promise you a part 2.
Thank
All
you, sir. Have a good
All right,
one.
Take care.
Steve.
All right, bye.
Cheers.
There you go, Dee Snider, everybody. The Leave a Scar, July 30th. They should do "I'm a Goofy Goober Rock" as a Japanese bonus track to Leave a Scar, because Dee doing that, Mitch, would be. Do you know Goofy Goober Rock? Are you familiar with the song? Or
I must be, because you know, for the longest time I was friends with Bob Kulick, who passed away sadly.
yeah, he worked
and-
on the SpongeBob stuff.
Of course, and we listen. You do not know how many conversations me and Bob had about Sweet
Oh,
Victory.
I know. Jeez, I was on a couple of those texts, man.
I know, and they were great, and of course my kids watch SpongeBob, and I am a Paramount Plus subscriber, and they do show
It's
them.
all on there. It's
It's
great.
all on there, so you gotta love that. And
Listen, the cool thing about Goofy Goober Rock is that they literally took "I Wanna Rock," but instead of "I Wanna Rock," it was "I'm a Goofy Goober Rock." Like, dude, it was awesome.
oh, that's amazing. And by the way, this album is amazing. This Leave a Scar, you know. You know, every time you get a new album from an artist that's been around, and it doesn't matter if it's bands I love like Scorpions or Thunder or Twisted Sister or Dee,
Yep.
the first time you put it on, there's always that little trepidation. Go, is this gonna be horrible? Is this gonna make me not a fan? And then you listen to this and you go,
Yeah,
he's fucking
it's
still
good.
got it. He still fucking got it.
It's good. man.
And do I want to be so bold to say that maybe this is his best release in the last 20 years, or if not, because you hear "I Gotta Rock" right into "All or Nothing More," right into "Down," but it just pummels and pummels.
Well,
and
listen to what
pump-
he said, man. You know, it's the first time he's actually gotten to write lyrics since the 90s, and he was like, I
Yeah.
got something to say. So you're really getting Dee as Dee being Dee.
Yeah.
So what more do you want?
And it's nice to see a solo album from a quote unquote heritage artist. No insult intended. That is not relying on that heritage to sell the new album, if you know what I mean. There's no, well, okay, this is not exactly "I Want to Rock." It's "I want an AARP card," and it's you know, he's not doing that. This is brand new,
Yeah.
full metal, all.
It's 2021 metal. It's full modern metal. You can't go wrong. It's good. And dude,
Yeah, and
hey,
he's no resting on laurels.
you're getting the filthy breakdown, and you're gonna get to hear the ting. All right. So
Yeah, I like Ding.
I like that you didn't know that. As soon as you hear it in a song, you totally know.
Oh, I know it is, but I never heard anybody call it the Ting.
Right? Describe it like that.
It's the Ting. It's like the what
Yeah,
now?
the thing. I love that you like at the end of a solo section. It'll go ding. Gotta.
Yeah, it's like the reset.
Yeah, it's it's the war call. That's where the pit just smashes into each other.
Oh my lord! Anyway,
right,
there we
well,
go. Dee Snider.
Leave a
More-
Scar, available July 30th, available wherever buy music. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Go check that out. And thanks a lot for listening, checking out the show. We'll be back next week with another episode. Mitch, there you go.
Yeah, and of course, check us out on Twitter at Mitch Lafon. A lot of nonsense going on there.
Lots of nonsense lately, which is
Good
good.
nonsense. We like nonsense.
Yep.
Anyway,
There you go.
there you go.
All right. See you later, everybody.
Cheers.
Done.
Perfect. I did this in speaker view, so I'll send it to you if you want.
Okay. No, it'll be all right. Well, you can do the speaker view. I'll do the gallery.
Yeah, that'll be a nice way to separate these here. Let me